Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Meal Plan in Minutes. I am so excited to be here with you because today we're diving into something really special, how to show love through food. For those of you who are new here, I'm Rebecca Connolly. I'm a personal chef and culinary instructor, have been for 20 plus years professionally. And I have been helping busy families create nourishing, delicious meals that bring people together. Food has always been a way for me to express love. I experienced it in my own family, with my own extended family. Whether it's through home cooked meals for my family, teaching others how to gain confidence in the kitchen, or helping clients to create meaningful dining experiences. I just love to cook and share food. So today, I want to help you to use food as a way to show love to your family, your friends, and even to yourself. If you love this topic and want to be a part of a supportive community of home cooks and food lovers, I'd love for you to join my online community, Time to Savor and Thrive. Drop Thrive in the comments and I'll send you the link. So, for a moment, imagine, if you will, think back to a meal that made you feel truly loved. Maybe it was your grandmother's homemade cookies, or maybe it was a dinner that someone made for you during a hard time, or a simple breakfast shared with your kids. Some of my greatest memories are over the holidays when we lived here in the States. My family and I would pack up and we'd drive from San Antonio to just the other side of New Orleans, Slidell, where my mom's parents lived. And we'd drive all night. It was like a 12-hour drive. My mom has that long driving gene that I have not inherited. But when we arrived at my grandmother's, she always had this steaming pot of spaghetti sauce ready for us in the crock pot. It's just one of those food memories of mine. So I also love to make pasta meals for my family when they arrive, for my kids when they arrive home for the holidays as well, or dinners that we make during hard times, right? When traumas or tragedies or unexpected difficulties arise in families, one of the great things we do is to bring a meal, right? It makes things easier. Bring a casserole. It's one less thing to have to think about and have to orchestrate when you're in the middle of a crisis, right? When you're trying to. I remember back when early in my marriage, I had miscarried. And a good friend of ours from graduate school brought over just a simple meal of salad and bread, probably a pasta dish. I'm sure it was, maybe even a lasagna. And it was the most delicious thing that we had ever eaten. Or simply sharing a breakfast, right? Maybe even on the week mornings, if you've planned ahead, sharing breakfast together can be a great way to start the meal. And there's lots of great make ahead options, right, for that, from egg muffins, things that are higher in protein, to like the chia and the overnight oatmeal dishes that can be customized as you serve it. So food is so much more than just nourishment, right? It's connection, it's care, it's love on a plate. And today I'm going to share simple ways that you can also use food to express love for your family and friends every day. So food is a love language, and we all know the classic 5 love languages, right? We have words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, physical touch, and gifts. And food fits into every single one of them. So food is as an act of service, right? We've talked about that. Cooking a meal for someone is one of the most tangible ways to show that we care. Food for quality time, sitting down for a meal together, even if it's only 15, 20 minutes, even if it's only taking a deep breath after you've gone through the drive-through, right? Which I'm guilty of many times on activity nights, right? But it's taking that concentrated time without any distractions just to have a chat create a deeper connection. Food as words of affirmation, complimenting a meal, expressing gratitude for someone's cooking strengthens relationships. I love to cook, and I am always grateful when someone else cooks. And I am incredibly excited that my 18 and 21-year-old are now starting to cook for us when they're home. So it's very exciting uh, to uh, to see that happening. Physical touch, sharing a warm drink or baking together can be a bonding experience, right? Especially over the holidays, we talk about baking cookies together, and or sharing hot chocolate, or just creating those moments. Or gifts, right? Homemade food gifts are amazing and always delicious. Those jars that you can put cookie mixes in, pancake mixes, drink mixes, even all kinds of things. And then all your giftee has to do is add an ingredient or two, and there they have a homemade treat or a prepared meal. Is a thoughtful way to give as well. So when we see food as more than just fuel, we start to realize its power in strengthening relationships and bringing more love into our homes. So I have 3 simple ways for you to put into practice to show love through food. And the first one is thoughtful meal planning. Planning meals with your loved ones in mind is a simple way to show how you care. And here's some suggestions. You could ask family members about their favorite meals and include them in the rotation. You could plan a favorites night where each person gets to pick a meal for the week. You could surprise someone with a meal that brings back good memories. That I love to do over Christmas break when we had both kids home for the holidays, right? So it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to involve hours of prep time in the kitchen or, hard to find ingredients. It just needs to be intentional, right? Sometimes the most simple preparations are the ones that bring the most joy. And this also doesn't mean that you become the short order cook in your family, because nobody wants that. But allowing or inviting those that you live with into the meal planning process gives them a little bit more ownership of the meal planning, right? So I would always start the week with, all right, you guys, what do you want to eat this week? And if they didn't have any ideas, then I'd fill in the blanks, right? But inevitably, we would have our handful of favorites that would keep coming up again and again. And simple things: spaghetti and meatballs, what we call breadcrumb chicken, which is sort of a quick schnitzel. And those are the 2 that always come to mind. And those are the 2 that the kids still request when they're home for weekends or holidays. The second way that you can show love through food is by cooking together. Cooking together as a love language. Sharing time in the kitchen is a great way to connect, whether it's cooking with your kids, your partner, or your friends. Inviting your kids into the kitchen, you can give them simple age-appropriate tasks, right? Like stirring, measuring, picking ingredients, washing ingredients. For a spouse or partner, you can make a date night out of cooking a meal together. Or for friends, you could host a potluck or a baking day. Also, meal assembly parties, meal assembly get-togethers are great for any time of year because we're all busy. We all need those grab-and-go meals, right? You could focus on putting together 5 or 6 freezer meals for everyone, and they can stick those in the freezer. You could assemble casseroles. You can do stir-fry kits. The sky's almost the limit on those meal assembly party ideas. But cooking together strengthens bonds and creates those shared memories, right? And that's what we're all about with food, creating that connection. And the third simple way that you can show love through food, small gestures with big impact. Little food related gestures go a long way to making someone feel special. You could pack a lunch with a note, right? My kids always loved this when they were in elementary school. They'd open their lunchbox and there would be a note from mom. You could make a favorite breakfast on a busy morning. Maybe someone, maybe one of your kids is going to have has a test that day or a paper due or something that's going to be a little bit stressful for them. And you could put a little bit more into the morning if you can fit it in, right? Make ahead their favorite breakfast or add a little extra treat to their lunch. You could drop off a homemade soup or a baked good for a friend in need. I have a good friend who also loves to cook here in town. She loves to host our monthly ladies' night, and every so often she tries a new recipe and she drops off a cupcake or a baked bread or some kind of tidbit for me to try. And it just makes my day because I love to try tasty things, right? So it's the little things that show love in a big way. So, quick recap: 3 simple ways to show love through food: thoughtful meal planning, incorporate favorites, incorporate surprises. Number 2, cooking together, turning meals into shared experiences. Doesn't have to be fancy. We're going to talk about this a little bit more next week. Doesn't have to be fancy, just needs to be intentional. Small gestures, little actions that make a big impact. Adding a note, adding a little surprise, adding a little tidbit. All of those make a difference. So it doesn't take a grand gesture, or it doesn't take something fancy or expensive to make someone feel loved. Just a little bit of intention and a little bit of extra effort. So I'd love to hear from you. What's one way you felt loved through food? Drop it down below. Was it a special meal, a shared tradition, a simple gesture? Let us know. We need all the ideas. And if you love talking about food, connection, and nourishing your family, I'd love to invite you to my online community, Time to Savor and Thrive. It's a place where we share tips, recipes, and encouragement. Drop Thrive below, and I'll send you the link. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, food is one of the most beautiful ways we can show love to those around us. Keep cooking, keep connecting, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.